Hello, and thank you so very much for joining me tonight. I go by luneinnate, and what I'm creating for you today, for the collective here, is a video you could use simply to chill out or calm down or relax to. Could be a method for you to communicate to your subconscious, send in some thoughts to chew on, or some empowering supportive concepts and things like that. Or /and if you're open to energy work by proxy, you can use this video as an energy work by proxy session. Alright, this is really what I'm into. This is really what I study, this is really what I practice, this is really what I teach. And healing arts is very, very important to me, so this is a way for me to share that with you, of course. And our theme for today is kind of simple, kind of big, and it's about hope, and hope for the future. And hopefully, as we talk a little bit about it, we can share some ideas, some things that we can focus on to make sure that hope is a stable piece of our foundation, you know? So we're going to start with a candle. This is just a little manifestation candle that I created. It has herbs and oils and metal and gemstone. Oh, excuse me. And additionally, I have these little herbs here. So I'm creating this on the new moon in Aquarius, during an Aquarius season, no matter when you end up watching it. And Aquarius rules hope. Oh, excuse me. Aquarius rules the future. Forgive me. And it just so happens that I received a gift from one of my Aquarian friends. And this is a little of the runoff from it. She sent me a gorgeous floral bundle, and it was shipped from Colorado, and it held up pretty good, but there still was a little bit of extra fall off, you know, from the herbs. So I wanted to add this to our candle here. Just feels right. This smells so good and so potent. It's kind of minty, kind of lavendery. So, we're just gonna pour it into my little candle here. A little extra. And from there, I'm just gonna spin it around. Kind of send in these intentions before we even light it here. So our goal, our intention is to support a stability and hope, being able to see the bigger picture, to play the long game, to understand the long game when it comes to, you know, the concept of the future, of your future, for humanity, to remember how connected we all are, how there is some kind of like butterfly effect that happens. To appreciate, invite, and hold reverence for all the connections we're going to make along the way, all the paths which we'll cross to support each other, people who are out there like you, doing things like you, maybe a little different or whatever, but how we can kind of come together and inspire one another, motivate one another. So much more than that. Support, camaraderie, friendship. And all the elements, basically, of our foundation and our trust and our expectation of beautiful things, wonderful things. Just some little wooden candles. Excuse me, little wooden matches. We're gonna light our candle here. So on behalf of the highest and greatest good, in perfect comfort and alignment, our intention today is to connect with hope, with trust, for the future, for your ability, for how even the littlest shift in your perspective or in your habits or in what you open yourself up to, what you allow, builds over time, creates great movement and opening of doors and flow in general. Pathways to support yourself, your goals, your manifestations, your well-being, and beyond yourself, of course, the greater collective, the greater community of humanity is what I mean by that, of course, right? And with hope, with a expectation of good, where allowing again that channel to be held and be held open. Many astrologers will tell you, and I'm not an astrologer, so just kind of sharing from a perspective that makes sense to me. But on a galactic scale, we are on an upswing. We're at just kind of rounded the corner and are on our way up in terms of awakening or the elevation of humanity here. So, I'd love for you to be able to gaze at this little flame, gaze at this candle, and set your own intention. Make your own wish for the future, for the things you are hopeful for the generations to come. Or, again, whatever makes most sense to you, whatever feels most right to you. Just kind of follow the light and send in your wish. Your expectation for things to work out in ways that we never could have planned for. Necessarily, it's not a one-way street. There are myriad ways for beautiful things to happen. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to set this down. I do have some stones to show you, and I will start with the one that I forget the name of. I'm sorry, I wish I could remember the name of this. Perhaps one of you remember, and maybe you could leave it in the comments. But this stone has a lot of hope for me. Like, it feels very like where your thoughts, your waking mind, your conscious mind can connect with hope. And that's what I'm bringing this in for a trust in the inevitability of the tides coming in and out. My focus is not happy today. To uplift, to, what is that expression? There's like this Irish, I think it's Irish, I don't know, saying I've seen, like, in relatives' households, like on the wall or something. Can't think exactly, or like a plate or something, but it's along the lines of, may your joys be as deep as the ocean and your troubles as light as the foam. And this is something that comes to mind when I work with this stone. I'm so sorry that you can't see it so good. It's beautiful blue and white. It just looks so gorgeous, right? Looks like those clips when someone's filming underwater in the wave, and just like a snapshot or still shot from the bubbles kind of doing their thing. But forgive that I don't remember the name of this. The next one that I brought in is this purple flame agate, and it's so lovely. Let me share it with you. That it's like kind of translucent. The violet flame is transformational. It's very supportive of miracles, we could say, or sometimes people use it for that. But it's, from my understanding, about transmutation, transformation, alchemizing in a more spiritual way. So not through your thought necessarily, not through some distillation process in the physical sense, but a sort of spiritual alchemy done through spiritual meditation, intentions, etc. So I like that concept of kind of the download to connect with hope. The remembering that we're all connected, even simply, even simply through cause and effect. Pardon. Excuse me. So this little cutie, this is an opalite. This is man-made, and I believe they are made from quartz, fluorite, and dolomite, if I'm not mistaken. Basically a glass, but very popular. A very popular glass. It's so beautiful and truly peaceful. Like, this is just a peaceful, alchemized, right? We're talking about this spiritual alchemy, and I would call this more of a physical alchemy, right? The process of melting down these minerals and creating this glass. And it's just so sweet. It has an uplifting nature to it, uplifting energy. And I wanted to bring this in also for, again, that alchemical concept that, yes, some things happen through this divine kind of spiritual thing. And some things need to be boiled down. Some things need to be worked on scientifically, or, in a physical sense. Changing the elements, repurposing, bringing things together. So I love that opalite can represent that as well, and how harmonious it still is created through, or it's still created and is so harmonious in quality. This one is nice because it's flat and you can just kind of stick it on your head. Alright. Similar oceanic kind of theme, like with the first stone. This is a blue opal on a matrix. And this also makes me think of waves. I'm sure you'll see why. It just has the quite like a wave in motion. So gorgeous. And this is quite soothing, quite comforting, supportive of the emotions, stirring the creative thoughts, and also cleansing, calming, the way the ocean can be. I'm sure you hear the birds in the background. Got a cute little family out there. So, I will share with you another speaking point that I wanted to talk about with this stone specifically. But as I was setting my new moon intentions, I just was more meditative, had lit my candle, just gazing at it, just thinking of the intentions I wanted to set. And I just kind of saw myself standing in the ocean or with the ocean right in front of me and just speaking my intentions out into it. So if that resonates with you, or if you've ever done that before, for any major body of water, perhaps we can also speak of hope, faith. And it's not that we're asking for hope, we're declaring our hope, we're declaring our faith. Alright, and finally, actually, I have two more. This is a calcite. It looks like a chalcedony, but it's actually a calcite. Orangey kind of color. And I'm going to use this on you specifically right now. I'm going to focus here and then down through into the sacral area. But I'm just going to channel with concepts, intentions of paths crossing, of the realization when these paths do cross, like the recognition of one another, inviting the connections that will support you. And I don't mean like you need support and you better wait till someone comes. That's not what I mean. But there's a magnetism, isn't there, right, between energies, and people hold energies. And if you have a mission, if you have something you're working on, big or small, or a passion for that matter, we want to kind of reinforce these channels, these invitations in the sacral area to form healthy, non-attached, but healthy relationships, working relationships, friendships, romantic, and beyond, ones that feel quite small but are quite meaningful even. And we just want to empower that creative force, your gut instinct as well, to guide you to work in the subtle realms, the emotional realms, so you can tune into, so you can connect with hope and tune in to peace, or connect with faith and tune into this expectation of good, of good. And I'm just focusing on clearing those channels now. The reason I'm focused up here as well is for the expression, communication that happens concepts shared, vibes felt when we connect. When we kind of sync up to those that play a role in some way, shape, or form, or we play a role for them, or simultaneous, for the future. And remember, there's so much more than verbal communication. There's body language, the vibe, how we dress. There's so much more. So these exchanges don't have to be the most wordy all the time either. But when they are, we want that communication to be very just easy, right? Of course it would be. Alright. And now finally, I have this angel quartz, angel wing quartz. I think that's the name of it. You can see it has a gorgeous inclusion. So beautiful. We're going to use this to really bring down that inspiration, almost angelic inspiration, if you will, to invite that support. Not even if you're not into angels and stuff like that, but just like the reflection, the mirror, the significance of it, the representation of angelic concepts that exist within you, the concept of support, the concepts of free will, the concepts of omnipresence as well, non-limitations, miracles, right? So I'm going to draw and call through this, we could call it a attunement to your divine nature, your free will, your choice in thought, in action, in will, in movement, in creation. Alright, so we're going to use some essential oil. This is cypress. We're going to connect with the subtle form with the intention of empowering it, but also bringing to the surface any fear about the future, any imposed fear, right? Any egoic fear. To focus on all your mistakes, let's say, right? Or all the bad. I'm not trying to say there isn't bad, right? Like, hello. But we want to bring it to the surface so we can witness it, feel it, whether it comes out and is an emotion or a vision or a just feeling and knowing we have. So we're sending energy in, but we're also inviting this fear, and I know that's incredibly general here, but to come to the surface, to lure it out a little bit. these empathic warrior crystals. If you'd like to take a look at them, I'll show you. I'll try to show you. They are warriors. You can see they're a little beat up. And I chose these specifically because of that, because of their empathy, you know. So we're calling to the surface our fears, whether we're feeling it in our stomach, whether we're seeing it in our mind, whether it's just an emotion, whether it's not even truly felt at this time. That's okay, we're all different here. But we're going to use these like little extractors. Sever, pluck, release these fears. I'm just going to bring your focus back for you. The dove is so happy. Bring it back over here. Just take a breath in and out. Allow any fear to be released. And you know, some fear is good. I'm not trying to live in a bubble, right? But I mean the kind that kind of keeps us stuck or incredibly pessimistic. What good does pessimism do? Okay, I'm going to focus now more in the gut, kind of worked more of the head space. Just focusing to kind of release the reaction of insecurity. So I'm kind of in the higher gut and lower gut here, just like I'm in the higher mind and lower mind. There's no reason to be insecure. Okay. All right. Can use a little rosemary now. Sweet channel through. And for me, I love to use rosemary for clarity, for seeing more. And we want to connect now with the concept of time and space and this like unlimited kind of field here, right? We want to connect with the bigger picture, the trust, and all the little efforts that you make within yourself or that you put out into the world, all of these things have an effect. Not just your thoughts, not just your actions, all of it, the whole picture, the whole effort, the whole decision each time to choose benevolence, to choose thoughts of benevolence, to choose thoughts of support and empowerment, to alchemize our thoughts, and all of this effort and how this plays over this giant expanse of time, or what we perceive as giant expanse, right? Who knows? Maybe to the universe it's like, But we're just channeling through to support clarity, seeing the big picture, seeing these wheels, these gears of time turn. Maybe collectively we could tune in to our own concepts of love, support, empowerment, and kind of send it out. Know what's waiting for us, or those who cross that path. I know I'm in the tropics, but in my mind I'm seeing palm trees for some reason. Palm trees are symbolically about rebirth. I think that hope is innate. I think faith is innate. I think being excited about the future is an innate quality. Think of how you were when you were young and you couldn't wait to be a teenager maybe, or something like that, right? But we get exposed to a lot of people who tend to then not like their birthday even, stuff like that, right? Not calling anyone out, you're entitled to not like your birthday, that's okay. But I mean, we kind of start to develop this pessimism. I know my family is very pessimistic. It was hard for me to fight against that, I kind of took it in. I walked around with a lot of pessimism. And that's okay, but it wasn't really serving me, Skepticism, good. Cynicism, nah. Alright, so I'm focused here on kind of revving the energetic engine here to push through this forward momentum, to rev this engine like a dog, like it shakes it off, they reset. We're doing a little bit of that with our focus on hope, the future, our faith, and trust in your efforts. It's not done in vain. Your development, your effort is not in vain. Right. Just going to use some atmosphere mist from Angela Mary Magic. This is the Aura Mist. I'm going to spray this behind you, in front of you, above, below. And again, just focusing on brilliant energy. I'm seeing Mother of Pearl. got this image that's very hard to describe, so I'm just going to do my best, but just reminded me of helping out Earth's creatures, kind of little rescue missions, and how small it might be to, catch a spider that's in your house and let it outside instead of killing it, right? That kind of stuff. But it leaves its marks in some ways, right? To do good, to help out, even a little bug or something. Okay. Alright, well, hope you enjoyed this little session. Hope it serves you in some way. I just want to thank you so very much from the very bottom of my heart for allowing me to share a little piece of your path tonight. Special thank you to those on Patreon supporting this channel and the content over there and just being there. Thank you so much. It's truly changed my life to have that community, so thank you, as well as those who I've been blessed to work with. I'm so grateful. I look forward to every class, every live, every video connection, and just know that it brings me so much joy, and it just lights me up to know that it does the same to other people, or affects people, has an effect, supports in any way to someone else as well. From the very bottom of my heart, I bow to the divine within you, within me, and to this connection we share. Alright? Much love to you, and namaste.